सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रम् नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुम् मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते They can come in, whoever it is. Come. So we are reading now. Please open to page 8. Shamaha Kaha. Yeah. So this is what? Talking about the qualifications which are needed. By whom? By the teacher, correct? So it is assumed that the teacher already has the qualifications because the teacher was a student before, correct? So the qualifications are for whom? The student. Yeah. The teacher's qualifications are there in the Mundaka Upanishad. Again, they are presented for the student so that the student selects the proper teacher right from the beginning. Yeah. So here the qualifications are so that the person is able to have a frame of mind to be able to enjoy the teaching. Otherwise, what happens, it will be like what Saint Kabir said. When you sit down to meditation, he said this: Mala to karme phire, jeeb phire muhmahi, manuwa to das disi phire, yah to sumiran nahi. Means what? Sumiran means smaran, the repetition of the name. How to meditate, how not to meditate. He gives a little lesson. He says the fellow has in the hand the beads, mala, and it's keeping on moving round and round and round. And the tongue is moving inside the mouth, round and round and round. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, something. And then what? The mind is also moving round and round from thought to thought to thought. What kind of a meditation is this? That's what he says. So, for everything there is a qualification, In order to go to first grade, you have to qualify from KG. That's why they even have graduation ceremonies. Yeah, sounds funny, but it is there. And in order to in order to go to college, one should have some kind of a certificate, at least some high school level of education must be there, otherwise nothing you will understand. And similarly for Vedanta, it's not about what you have studied before, but it's about how to have a certain way of being in one's life so that one has these 6 ornamentations that we are about to study. So what did I say? Shama and Dama are the earrings, correct? And Shraddha is the shining necklace. And then what? Uparama is the beacon, which is the ornament on the head, like a diadem, like a crown. And then what? Titiksha is the bangle, and Samadhanam is the anklet, payal. So this is how like to go to any kind of an occasion, you have to wear the correct attire, right? To go to a business meeting, you cannot go, dressed as you would go before you sleep. You cannot go in pajama, to go, you cannot go in night dress for a business meeting, correct? And similarly, if you're going to a wedding and you wear something that has more holes than jeans, then also you look awkward because everybody else will have a certain protocol. Like last year when this prince, what was his name, William, got married, they put the invitation card on the web and somebody sent it to me and they said morning coat, strict attire, and if you didn't have that attire, even if you had a wedding card, you were not allowed inside. So if you go to a wedding, you are dressed aptly. And then if you go to a funeral also, you're not going to go, all dressed up. You wear, sober tones, or you wear whatever is appropriate in each culture. So similarly, what kind of ornamentation do you need in order to attend and benefit from a Vedanta class? This is what is talked about. And then of course the student here in this book is very chatty, and asks, what is the question? Shamaha, kaha, what is this thing called shama? And what does the teacher say? Mano nigraha.
Mano nigraha.
Yeah, nigraha, discipline. From grah to grasp. The discipline of what? Manaha. Discipline of the mind is called shama. The mind has to be disciplined. Because otherwise, there are two ways in which what happens, things happen for the mind to be gone away from the topic at hand, and this happens constantly. You go to the kitchen to get, just a glass of water, and then having gone there, you stand and wonder, why am I here? You may say that's because of memory. And what happened to the memory is something else. You see, that's a different thing. It could be also for the memory, because of the memory, but more often than not, it is because of the fact that some other thought came, driving away this thought without even me knowing it. So the thoughts keep coming. You cannot tell the mind, don't think. How to not think? The only way to not think is to be in a coma. That's the only way to not think. So you cannot tell the mind, don't think. And you cannot also tell the mind, don't think bad thoughts. Can you tell the mind that? No, because then the whole time you'll be going like this, trying to shake off the bad thoughts. You cannot tell the mind, don't think. You cannot tell the mind, don't think bad thoughts. What can you tell? You can say that I am going to not follow the mind. The mind is going to follow me, because the mind has its own way of doing its own thing and going here, there, everywhere, all over the place. And what am I going to do? I am going to make this mind follow me. That is what is called shama. And I told you the storehouse, so that one thing is like, from the storehouse of the mind is made up of emotions and is made up of all kinds of things, the unconscious, the emotions, and also one's likes and dislikes, which we discovered we carry from several lifetimes, correct? Yesterday we saw that in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We carry these things from so many lifetimes. So then what happens? When you carry this from so many lifetimes, that means what? They are deeply entrenched. Along with what? Hopelessness, fear, scarcity mentality, pain, sorrow. All these are deeply entrenched, but they are mithya. Just because they are deeply entrenched doesn't make them satyam, doesn't make them real. What is real? The only thing that is real is I. So the emotions cannot rule me. So I rule the emotions. Anger is there. Who doesn't have anger, If somebody comes to you and say, this happened actually, one man came to Swamiji and said, I don't get angry at all. I have no anger. And Swamiji said, I don't believe you. And he said, no, really, Swamiji, I have no more anger anymore. I am just very calm person. I don't have any anger anymore, Swamiji. I have given up all anger. And what did Swamiji say? What did Swamiji do? He said, I don't believe you at all. See, this was a game. Correct? This was a game. I don't believe you at all, Swamiji said. And then what happened? He got a little irritated. He said, no, Swamiji, I've given up anger. And Swamiji said, you're not convincing me. I don't believe you at all. Swamiji, I don't care if you don't believe me or not. I have given up anger. This is what happened. Means what? Anybody who is, in the place, of having a human experience will have anger. Anger comes. And when does anger come? What does the Gita say? Whenever a desire is thwarted, anger comes. Yeah. Because all the thing is based on desire only. So when I don't get my way, what happens? Anger comes. When I don't get my way, anger comes. And so therefore what? I have to be very, very, careful of this anger coming. Anger comes. Sarvesham buddhau ragadvesham vyavasthitau. In every mind there is anger, there is ragadveshas, which are the root cause of anger. Oh, so I can get angry whenever I want? Read the fine print in the Bhagavad Gita. Tayoho vasham na agachet tau hi asya purushasya paripanthinau. Do not come under their spell. Yeah, because otherwise you will be spellbound. Do not come under their spell. Because when you come under their spell, what happens is that you get hijacked by the anger. That anger comes is not a problem. Anger comes. But you be the boss. Oh, but it is so hard. Nobody said this is easy. Nobody said this is easy. Yeah. That's why the other things, see, each thing is connected to the other. To master Shama, all the other things come like Samadhanam, Uparati, etc. They all come together and triangulate. So, how to let go of anger. You let go of anger because you are the boss. You are the boss. You let go of the anger. And it is very difficult. Yes, it is difficult. So therefore one has to practice. You keep watching the emotions. And then you give them a proper outlet. You be the witness of the emotion. Oh, but I can't witness it. But as soon as you say, I'm feeling angry, you are witnessing it. You cannot say, I am angry and not witness it. As soon as you say, I am angry, that means what? You are witnessing the anger. You're being the witness of the anger. And so then what? Then we have, you witness it. Step number 1. And step number 2, you make a sankalpa, a conscious intention to not be hijacked by the anger and to not leash it upon some unsuspecting targets. Yeah. And what does Vedanta say? Even if A is angry at B, and let us say it is quote unquote justified, even though it is justified, the anger must not be targeted against B. So don't make other people the target of your anger. So, but I am angry and I don't have a way to make people the target of my anger. I cannot lash out. I cannot act out. What should I do? Where will it go? Otherwise, if you suppress it, you will become like a pressure cooker. What will happen? You will blow up. If you don't let off steam, you will blow up. This is what should I say? This is a law of physics, right? There's only so much the head can hold. There's only so much the body can hold. And so therefore what? That's why you have to climb a mountain, go to a park, go to the river, scream, write it out. Do not send the email. Yeah, in fact, write out by hand. Yeah. Emails are dangerous. Yeah. Why? Because This is where it's impersonal, and this is a place where you can unleash everything that is happening to you. And before you know it, not you, some other being inside you has pressed the send button. then, then you cannot take it back. Yeah. A released arrow and words cannot be taken back. They are gone, and they will hit the target. So if you shoot an arrow because you heard some rustling in the bushes, in the forest, and what did you think? Oh my God, tiger, man eating tiger. And even though you're not a man, you got scared because it's close enough. And so the tiger may come. What did you do? You shot the arrow. And then you heard a sound. It's a cow. It's not a tiger. It's a harmless cow. Can you then say, arrow, please come back. I didn't mean it for the cow. Will it come back? No. Words are like that. Once they are gone, they hit the target sometimes unkindly. And so the Shama means having enough, first of all, acknowledging that there is pain, sorrow, anger, and inappropriate, what we call inappropriate emotions. I mean, all emotions are appropriate, but the tendency to let go of them inappropriately is there. So one has to take responsibility for one's feelings. And this is hard to do because everybody is sensitive to criticism. All of us, everybody is, you cannot, and nobody should say your nose is below your mouth. Your nose is above your mouth. Immediately you get upset, Why? Because somehow there is this sensitivity to criticism. Why? Because I'm critical of myself. This is the starting premise of all Vedanta we have seen for how many years now, correct? Yeah. Starting premise is I don't like myself. So immediately when anybody says the slightest thing, there is sensitivity to criticism. And people respond differently because of the sensitivity to criticism. And the sensitivity to criticism makes one not take responsibility for one's feelings. And it makes one not take responsibility for one's feelings because the fear is that, oh my God, I'm a bad person. Yeah. Just because somebody is upset, just because somebody has sorrow or anxiety or anger, or even what is called the six things. What are those 6 things? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, pride, jealousy. Krodha, of course, is anger, desire, and delusion. All these things, if all the 6 difficulties one has, there is nothing wrong. It's a human mind. That's why one is there in the human body with a human experience. So just to take responsibility that I have feelings of whatever it is, pride, anger, fear, jealousy, doesn't make one a bad person. It makes one, be more, what's the word for it? Be more responsible for one's emotions. And when one is responsible for one's emotions, one is no longer in a place of being a victim. This is a very big thing. Yeah. It's a very huge thing. And this is not even really talked about in the Upanishads so much. They just say Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, whatever it is. But these days, because we live in Kali Yuga, we have to talk about it in great detail. Because in those days, in the ancient times, there was Uparama. Where what is Uparama? People were busy minding their own business. And so what happened was there was not enough space for all this to, that loneliness and everything to stew and make one a complex personality. Now we are alienated, disenchanted, and completely disconnected to the whole. Especially in modern times, so we have to look into the whole psychological person when we talk about the concept of Shama. Otherwise, it doesn't hit home. Mano nigraha. Yeah, big deal. Okay, next. This is what happens. You have to see it in detail. You have to see it in depth. Otherwise, what is the use? Kya fayda hai? Kuch nahi, And so, the fact that I have jealousy, supposing if I say, I have jealousy, Immediately I look around. Oh my God, how are they going to see me? Oh, this is terrible. Let the earth come and swallow me up because, if I don't look at the emotions, I'm safe. You're not safe. If you don't look at the emotions, are they there or not? They are there. You know, it's like a kitten. In India, we have sometimes open windows by the kitchen, and the kittens come up through the grill, and the milk will be kept. And they're experts at, even if the milk is covered, they remove the cover and they'll be drinking the milk. And it's so cute because they think if their eyes are closed while drinking the milk, nobody else is seeing them. So this little pink tongue will be drinking the milk and the eyes are tightly shut. And it is standing there, it's so happy, it is shaking because it's so happy. Yeah. That is how we are. We think that if I just put a big veil upon my emotions, I don't have to look at them ever again. And then somehow they will go away. They are not going to go away. Yeah. They have to be talked to. They have to be loved up. They have to be owned up. And then they have to be rechanneled. They have to be redirected towards safer avenues where I don't hurt myself or hurt others as a result of that. So once I own it up, like I have jealousy, I have pride. Pride is my fall. I have, wants and needs and desires. It doesn't make me a failure. In fact, that is the first stepping stone of success is to take responsibility. Taking responsibility is not the same as feeling blamed. Those are two different things. Taking responsibility, I am proactive. Feeling blamed, I am a victim. And when I identify as a victim, I feel powerless. And the whole cycle repeats itself. So nothing wrong in saying, I have problems with jealousy. I have problems with sorrow. I have problems with anger. I have problems with fear. I have problems with guilt. I have problems with criticism. I have problems with hurt. Nothing wrong. Because that is the first step of Shama, to notice that it is there. Because not noticing it is far, that leads one into an abyss of self-denial. And it's far, and then it piles upon itself. And from this abyss of self-denial, it is much harder to pull oneself out than to say, I have anger. What a relief to say, okay, I get angry in certain situations. So once we know this, so that is the first step, to take responsibility, which is not the same as placing the blame on myself, which is not the same as seeing myself in a bad light. Taking responsibility means allowing it to sit and be there. Sit with it. And that is difficult. So therefore we take help. And what is the help? We'll go over all the 6 things. So kama, desiring all kinds of things that don't belong to me, or I should not have, or are not good for me. As I have said before, everything I like and want is what? Yeah, before that is, no, don't be a Vedantin now. This is a joke. I'm remembering a joke. I'm trying to remember a joke. Everything that I always want is either illegal or immoral, or is too fattening, has too many calories. This is what it is. So therefore, if I say I don't want this, if I deny my want, then I don't know who I am. To give up the wants, one has to first know what they are, Yeah, you can't just sort of push them under the carpet and then throw them out. I wish it were that easy. It is not. First you have to see where the longings are, where the cravings are, and take responsibility for them. And make the decision to not act upon those wants and those desires that are inimical to my growth. And here we can distinguish between finite, infinite, etc. So I don't act on those wants that are inimical to my growth. I don't go after them. So that is how to handle kama. And then what? Krodha, anger. What to do with anger? Accept there is anger. And accept, own it up as this is my anger. Because it's very easy to say, these are the situations that make me angry. Yeah, the situations trigger what is already there. So accept that there is anger. And then what? Then don't try to control the anger, because again pressure cooker will happen. Learn how to manage the anger. How do we manage the anger? See, there's a difference between controlling and management. Management means that I take the responsibility to give it a proper outlet. Anger is a powerful emotion. It can even be creative. Write a poem, write something, do something. Don't cook, that's all, Or even if you cook, keep the chili powder far away. Yeah. Yeah. So cooking is an activity that must not be done. Otherwise, you keep the chili powder far away and then you cook. So the management also means that you seek the help of other people, including your family members, to help overcome the anger. All you have to do is tell your teenagers, whenever I'm angry, please tell me. Tell your children. Tell the significant other. Tell your friends. And they will tell you. They will say, looks like you're getting angry right now. We can discuss this later. Yeah. Don't discuss anything when you're angry. Why? Because there is again the danger of saying things you do not mean. Of meaning things that are not, real. So therefore say, first one has to take the, responsibility. I am angry right now. I will talk to you later. And in the meantime, what else? Bury the computer. Yeah. Don't send emails. Don't send, don't bury the phone also. Don't make phone calls. Take a walk. Drink something cool. Put an ice pack on the head, whatever it is. Count backwards. So many things are there. Different things work for different people. And if one has to let out the anger, find some ways that are harmless to let it out. Punch a pillow, wet a towel and beat the bathroom floor with it. Yeah, that noise is wonderful. Yeah, and you imagine you're hitting the person, that has with whom the anger is associated. Now, these are all safe ways to let it out without hurting oneself, without hurting others. So kama, krodha, lobha. Lobha means greed. These are all the difficult emotions to manage. How do you overcome greed? What is greed? Meaning always wanting something or the other. Things that don't belong to you, you want, whatever. You sublimate it. You look at all the things that you have and make a list of things that you haven't used, even though you have them. And in every household, I guarantee you, the number of things you have not used will overpower the number of things that you have and do use. So, and then greed also is helped, I'm told, by, chanting and bhajans and all of these emotions are helped. But particularly greed, if you occupy yourself, you remove yourself from that situation with which the greed is connected. If it is food, don't go to the supermarket at certain times of the day. If it is something, don't go to those shops. Don't go online even to those shops. So remove yourself from the situation and then, have a, what's its name? Have a goal for yourself that I'm not going to do this. And then what? Kama, krodha, lobha, moha. Moha means delusion. What is delusion? not knowing what I really want. And for that, the best thing to do is keep listening to, Vedanta, keep listening again and again, so that in the mind, the true goal in life is delineated. What I want is whole, myself, the truth of I. Everything else is mithya, moha. And then finally, mada, pride. Pride is very easy to manage, because when you see, well, as soon as the feeling comes, I am great, then you see why. Ask why. Why am I great? Of course, everybody is great, but why do I feel great right now? Because I sing very well. Let us say the thought comes. Because I do this very well. Because I'm a good doctor. I'm a good accountant. I'm a good lawyer. All these thoughts may come. Then you think, how did I become a good doctor? Then you have to start with KG, right? Before KG, one was in nappy. You have to go there, Yeah. Who put on the nappy? Then suddenly mother, father come. And then who gave me this body? Who gave me the ability, the mind? Who nurtured this mind with food and, scolding me to go to school every day when I didn't want to go, right? So then when you see the whole trajectory, then what happens? You find something wonderful. You find that you are not the author of anything. You find that everything, there is a hidden hand of Bhagavan. And Bhagavan Krishna talks about this in the 10th chapter. He says it's time to reclaim the intellectual property right. What is the intellectual property right? Everything you thought was yours is not you. It's me in you. If you have a good voice, it is Bhagavan in you. If any ability is there, it is Bhagavan. It is not you, it is Bhagavan. So when you go back, even if you don't want to go as far as Bhagavan, just knowing that all these things have kept me available for this, have kept me available for this, is what we have to, see that there are